You see, something happens when you finally start seeing what's really going on. Not what people tell you, not what appears on screens, not what passes for truth in conversations, but what's actually unfolding beneath all of it. At first it feels subtle, almost invisible, like the world hasn't changed at all. But then you start to notice things. The tone behind the words, the tension behind the smiles, the fear hidden inside people's opinions, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, reality begins to lose its old shape. It doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. There's no thunderclap, no revelation written in light. It's more like the quiet clicking of gears shifting deep inside your perception. You begin to realize that most of what you called normal life isn't actually life, and it's performance. Rehearsed, polished, repeated until everyone believes it's real. The way people talk about success, the way they chase approval, the way they pretend to know what they're doing. You start to see through it. And once you do, there's no going back. This is where it begins, the quiet dissonance between what you used to believe and what you now see. It's unsettling at first. You try to tell yourself you're imagining things. You try to keep playing along. But something deep inside refuses to participate anymore. Conversations that used to amuse you suddenly feel empty. The noise that used to comfort you now hurts your ears. You start craving silence in a world addicted to shouting. And maybe you think you're the strange one. Maybe you tell yourself you're becoming distant or cold. But let me tell you something. You're not disconnecting from reality. You're finally connecting with it. You're starting to sense what lies beneath the surface of things, and that awareness can feel like a curse before it becomes a gift, because the truth, when it first arrives, doesn't always bring peace. It brings clarity, and clarity destroys illusions. You'll notice it everywhere. In the way people argue not to find truth, but to defend identity. In the way they post not to express, but to be seen. In the way they fill their days with movement so they don't have to stop and feel. You'll see it, and it will hurt, not because they're wrong, but because you used to be there too. You'll recognize your own reflection in their sleepwalking, and that will break your heart in the most necessary way. There's a saying, once you see the bars of the cage, you can't unsee them. The walls don't disappear overnight, but the illusion that they were never there does. You begin to realize that so much of what society values, money, validation, attention, are just symbols, tools, distractions from something far more real that most people are too afraid to face. Their own silence, their own self, their own vast, unfiltered consciousness. The moment you see what's really going on, something else happens. You lose your appetite for pretending. You can't laugh at the same shallow jokes, can't force yourself into the same social rituals. Every time you try, something inside you whispers, "This isn't you anymore." And that whisper grows louder until you have no choice but to listen. That's when the withdrawal begins. Quiet, subtle, almost invisible to others, but monumental within you. You start saying less, not because you have nothing to say, but because words suddenly feel inadequate. You start spending more time alone, not because you hate people, but because solitude no longer feels empty. It feels sacred. You stop chasing attention, you stop explaining yourself, you stop trying to convince the asleep to wake up, because you realize awakening can't be forced. Everyone has their own timing, and yours is now. This is the phase most people fear, the disappearing. You drift away from circles that no longer resonate. You stop engaging in the endless debates and emotional performances that once kept you busy. Some people will notice and call it depression. Others will call it arrogance or apathy. But none of that matters, because for the first time you're no longer living for their definitions. You're learning to live from the inside out. At first, this solitude feels raw. You'll face the noise you used to drown with distractions. You'll confront your own thoughts without filters, your emotions without anesthetics. But stay there. Don't run. Because beneath the discomfort lies something extraordinary. Truth without distortion. In that silence, the masks fall away. The persona you built to be loved. The identity you used to navigate the world. The roles you played to be safe all of it begins to dissolve. And what remains is something unshakable: presence, stillness, the sense that you are not the story you've been telling, but the awareness that has been witnessing it all along. When you touch that, even for a moment, everything else changes. The world doesn't lose its color. It gains depth. Every sound becomes music. Every movement becomes sacred. Every breath feels like a miracle. You see life as it really is, raw, impermanent, alive. But here's the paradox. As your awareness expands, your participation in the collective illusion becomes impossible. It's not rebellion, it's resonance. You can't force yourself back into what you've outgrown. You can't pretend the dream is real once you've tasted awakening. It's like trying to unlearn how to see, so you withdraw, but not to escape, to preserve, to let your new consciousness find stability before you bring it into the world again. During this time, you'll notice subtle shifts. The things you used to crave, praise, success, recognition, start to lose their grip. You realize how often they were just substitutes for self-connection. You see how much of your energy went into maintaining an image, and when that need dissolves, a strange peace takes its place. You stop trying to be impressive. You start wanting to be real. You begin to live slower. You listen deeper. You notice the way the wind moves through the trees, the way light dances on water, the quiet hum beneath existence that was always there but drowned out by noise. You start to see beauty not as something you have to seek, but something that was always waiting for you to be still enough to perceive it. This is the turning point, the moment the pain of seeing becomes the joy of being. You realize that awakening is not about escaping the world, but about seeing it clearly, without filters, without manipulation, without fear. You begin to sense that consciousness itself is the treasure everyone's been searching for, and from that space, compassion arises. You stop judging the asleep, because you remember that you too once dreamed. But make no mistake, this stage is not passive. It requires immense courage. Because as you grow more conscious, you'll start noticing how environments, relationships, and systems drain or nourish your energy. You'll have to make choices, sometimes painful ones, to let go of what no longer aligns. You'll leave jobs, habits, even friendships, not out of bitterness, but out of truth. Staying would mean betraying what you've seen. And yes, people will misunderstand. They'll call your peace coldness and your clarity distance. But you'll know the difference. You'll feel the quiet strength of someone who no longer needs to prove anything. You'll see that walking away is not rejection. It's preservation of consciousness. Because the awakened can't thrive in the same soil where they once survived asleep. The world will keep spinning, and you'll appear to be on the sidelines. But something new will be growing inside you. A clarity that doesn't depend on validation. A joy that doesn't depend on circumstances. You'll learn to rest in your own presence, to trust your own perception, to love without needing possession. This is what real freedom feels like. And then, one day, something unexpected happens. You realize you don't hate the world after all. You just can't play its unconscious games anymore. But from the edge of that realization, compassion returns. Not the sentimental kind, but the deep understanding that everyone is doing their best at their level of awareness. You no longer need to fix anyone. You simply exist as a quiet reminder that another way is possible. This is the true gift of seeing what's really going on. You stop reacting and start radiating. You stop forcing and start flowing. You live. In truth, not because it's easy, but because anything else feels impossible. And when others ask, "Where did you go?" you smile, because you never left. You just stopped pretending. You become what ancient mystics called a bridge, someone who walks between worlds. You can sit in silence among noise and remain untouched. You can engage with the world without being consumed by it. You can love people deeply without losing yourself in them. You are in the world, but not of it. Present, awake, free. But here's the part most people miss. Awakening is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new one. The point is not to disappear forever, but to return differently. To re-enter the world as a conscious being, to plant seeds of clarity through your presence alone. You don't need to preach or convince anyone. Just live authentically, and the vibration of that truth will ripple further than any argument could. You might write words that awaken someone in the dark. You might create art that reminds people of their own soul. You might simply smile at a stranger, and that moment of genuine presence could shift something deep inside them. That's how awakening spreads, not through noise, but through resonance. So if you're in that strange phase right now, feeling detached, unsure, tired of pretending, don't rush it. You're not broken. You're in the in-between, the sacred space where illusions die and truth is born. Stay there. Breathe there. The discomfort you feel is the old self dissolving. The confusion you feel is the clarity rearranging itself. Trust that process. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more people willing to see clearly, to feel deeply, to live truthfully. It needs people like you who are brave enough to stop participating in what's false and start embodying what's real. So when you finally see what's really going on, don't look away. Don't numb yourself back into comfort. Let the seeing transform you. Let it purify your choices, your relationships, your presence. Let it burn away everything that's not true, until what remains is the quiet brilliance of being awake. And if this message finds you in that space, between who you were and who you're becoming, know that you're not alone. There are countless others walking this invisible path, disappearing from the noise so they can return with light. Find comfort in that knowing. Find peace in your solitude. If this spoke to something deep inside you, take a moment before you go. Breathe. Feel that resonance in your chest. That's your truth responding. And if you want more conversations like this, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and sharing your thoughts below. Not to please an algorithm, but to help this message reach the ones who are quietly waking up just like you. Because when you finally see what's really going on, you realize the most powerful thing you can do isn't to shout louder than the noise. It's to become the silence that makes